Hey there. We're the Monday Movie Club. The way yeah, I got nothing. Okay. Um,
All right, goodbye.
goodbye,
Yeah.
see ya. Um, no, I was gonna say something about mugshots, like we should be like meh, meh, I don't know. This week we are on an Amy Nostalgia Fest. The Bad News Bears from 1976. I assume don't watch the remake. I don't know. I'm
Yes,
Frank Gaffney. Here with me is Mike Engelberg. Hey Mike. Why does it say Mike Engelberg?
Did you watch the movie?
Oh, Mike is you're hardly Mike. I didn't know his last name was
I'm his
Engelberg.
size, but
Yeah, they always called him Engelberg.
yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
Engelberg Humperdinck. Mark Wotzitz-Gardner, who again has no background. Why? It's your job. Annie King, fresh back from Aruba.
Woo!
Aruba. Are you saying
Going
you got
up
a
a
tan?
tan.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay.
Oh.
And Amy Goldman, who is tired and cranky. No? Probably. All right, she's
I'm
putting
not
on
cranky, Frank. Shut up.
she's putting on a brave face right now. She's like, people are watching this.
A minute ago, I was like this.
Okay, Aim. So you're 11. You're the prime
9
audience.
and a half.
You're the prime audience for this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Continue.
I remember in
Why'd
my
you-
memory, I could be wrong, but I remember going with my friend who lived in the building with me. We walked to the Avon Theater in Stamford. I was not even quite 10 yet. And this was just another, like the last one I had, the last movie I picked, this was just another big movie that I remember all the kids just loving. The boys loved it for the baseball. The girls loved it because there was a girl right around our age who was like the star of the movie. Who is this person? Never saw her before. So it was just a lot of fun. And it introduced me to the love of my life, Walter Matthau.
Well, but Tatum O'Neal already had an Oscar by this point.
Yeah, but
You didn't know
Paper
that.
Moon came out in 1973. I was 7 years old.
Right.
Maybe
Nice.
I knew of her. Who remembers?
Yeah. So and Little Darlings, was that before or after this one?
After.
After.
After. All right. So why'd you make us watch it? That's the thing.
Just because it was a movie that was really big in my childhood. I remember loving it at the time. I don't think I loved it as much now at 56 as I did at 9.75. But
Yes, because when you're that age, you think in fractions.
yeah, right. It was
Right
just
now,
really
I'm
good
64 and a
movie.
half.
So
All right. So, of course, this movie would never get made today the way it is there. Did anybody see the remake? I wonder how they handle. All right. So,
I watched it yesterday just to.
all right. So they had to get rid of all the racist stuff and
For the most part, most of it's gone. You know, Tanner's mouth is a little cleaned up in certain areas.
yeah.
But there's still some questionable things going on.
All right.
and
Well,
one of the things I read about the remake was he was allowed to smoke, but never in the dugout, which I found interesting.
okay. So there are a lot of characters in this movie, but I feel like they all really had a little moment. So you definitely know all of them. But all the kids are obnoxious and profane, but they all seem like kids. It didn't seem like a saccharine, and it never, to me at least, it never seemed too much. It didn't seem like a kid wouldn't say that or so. So here, Walter Matthau is an alcoholic ex-baseball pitcher, who becomes the coach for the youth baseball team, the Bears. And so then Tom Hanks is the Walter Matthau part in A League of Their Own.
Sure.
And Tatum O'Neal is Amanda, who becomes the team star player. And she and Walter Matthau have such great rapport together. They really do. Such a great, the way they riff off each other. How old is she here? Is she 11, 12?
He was
11.
12 when they filmed it.
Yeah. Their banter is very fun, and it really feels like she's so in it. Like they must have rehearsed it, and she gives it as good as she gets. And she's terrific.
I was so impressed with the acting, especially by the two of them. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Wait, and I also read in the trivia that she actually learned how to pitch for the role, and a lot of those scenes were actually her. There was some stunt double, but they said at the time that was very rare to have an actual 12-year-old girl really pitching for a movie.
Yeah.
And so Tanner is the hothead of the group, but again, you know, he's always there for his teammates, and he even stands up for Lupus, and he has that lovely moment where you can see all the regret in his face when he realizes what a bully he was. That so beautiful to me. And Jackie Earl Haley, who looks like he just came out of a trailer park. He's the older kid, he's the renegade, but you know he wants to be a kid. He wants to be on the team. He wants to be a part of it. Very nice performance by him too. And Tatum O'Neal's character, Amanda, wants the father-daughter relationship with Walter Matthau. And Matthau wants none of it. And he just wants to win. And so he has such a beautiful delivery when he's dismissing her and trying to, you know, push her off and just to get her to focus on winning the game.
See, but Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I took all of his yelling at her in that amazing scene as, I don't want to be your friend because I'm not good enough for you. You don't want to be around someone like me.
Yeah.
I think he absolutely loved her and would have loved to have had a relationship. It wasn't about the game in that moment. I didn't think at all.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but I definitely think his motivation really was to get her to win. And then when he chews out the team, and then there's that lovely moment where we see all of them react to what his tirade, and it's such a beautiful moment.
I had that in my notes because he started crying. I was like, all the kids were like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? And he's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what did I just do?
yeah.
And he just
I mean,
becomes
and he, you know,
amazing.
he treats them like adults, and then he realizes, oh my God, they're kids.
Yeah.
And this was beautiful when he says to Lucas, you didn't come into this life to sit on the bench. I mean, come on. That should be on a pillow sham somewhere. It really was beautiful. And of course, yes, there are racial slurs, there are homophobic slurs, there are fat jokes. Matthau even passes out beers. He gives beers to the kids at the end. He throws things at them, he pushes them, and Vic Morrow hit the kid who is the pitcher. Is that his son in the movie?
Yeah.
Good Lord. The what is it called? The Child Welfare Bureau would be there the very next minute today.
They'd be there before he got out to the mound.
You go like this and they'd show
Yeah.
up. So this gets 3 stars for me. The entire movie is completely inappropriate in so many ways, but Matthau is hilarious, and it's sweet enough, and it's rousing, and it's touching, and even when they don't win, they've won. It's amazing. And that last shot of the American flag is perfect because only in America, kids, only in America. And there were 2 sequels. Aim, did you see any of those?
I'm pretty sure I remember seeing
I
them.
kind of remember
Yeah.
Japan a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't know. But I did see this movie at the time. I don't know if I'm probably like Amy. I just thought it was cute. But now I really see how, you know, it really tried for something more than just a kid's movie, which was great. Mark, what did you think? You're a sports guy.
And you had never seen it, Mark, right?
I've never seen it. And I'm not a
You're
sports movie.
not 12 years old.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't love this, but I didn't hate it. I think if I had seen it when I was like 10, it probably would have had a similar nostalgic place in my heart. I appreciated the 70s feel of it. It reminded me of my childhood of being outside, watching my brother's Little League games. And everybody loves an underdog story. But watching for the first time at 47, it just seemed a bit dated and cheesy to me, coming in like that. But can we just talk about Walter Matthau's hair for a second? Because was that not a wig? I mean, that was like I don't know, that his head of hair looked so fake to me.
He had the
Really?
same head of hair in every movie in the 70s.
Yeah.
Then
So it's
he just,
either
I
a
guess he's
bad wig
blessed.
his entire life, or
I don't know. I guess he's blessed with a good head of hair then, because that just looked way too thick and black for a 56-year-old.
Maybe the black was put on, but the hair, I think,
Amy's
was real.
56. She's got a good head of hair.
Well,
And I don't
True.
dye it.
You don't dye it? Wow.
No, but you can see the gray.
Well, I'm just jealous then, I guess. And Walter Matthau, I think he's a great actor. He's got to be one of the least athletic people to have ever lived. So I find his backstory as being a pretty good pitcher, a little questionable.
do you have to be
racism-
that athletic to pitch a ball?
Most part, you still got to.
You don't have to be muscular and stuff. You could still be skinny and be a good pitcher.
No, when you're a minor league baseball player, the pitchers have to hit too and run and stuff like that. So
Right.
anyway, the only other thing I'll say is watching Walter Matthau pour whiskey into a beer before a Little League game made me feel a lot better about the amount of alcohol I drink, because that was bad. So for me, it's 2.75. I'm not going to seek this out to see it again, but I'll be honest, I wasn't really invested in it, and it was a little bit late, and I had a rough week this whole week with going down to the Bronx and everything, and I was tired. So maybe that added into a little bit of it, and maybe if I do watch it again, I may see more of what Frank was saying before, the beautiful moments, because I don't recall them, to be honest. So
Oh, you need to watch it again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think the mood and you watching it under different circumstances. Remember when Amy had that headache and she hated the movie we all loved? You know, it happens.
yes,
Every
yes.
week.
I have a disease, Frank.
That's it for me.
I'm not quick enough this morning to think of a good disease for you. Annie,
Chlamydia.
yes, it's called
See,
chlamydia,
no,
and
Just
chlamydia.
saying venereal would have been funny.
Oh, okay. I couldn't think of anything. Let's do it again.
I have a disease, Frank.
Venereal.
I'll give that a clap.
Annie,
I'll give it a clap.
did you see this in 1976?
I did. I remember seeing this, and it was just like Amy said, you're a kid that age, and it's like, awesome to see kids playing baseball and a girl also. I like the movie. It's funny, and maybe just because I was young also at the time, but I enjoyed it this morning when I watched it. Some of the things I thought, besides what you guys said, I thought it was great that they had the pull tab on the beer.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Nostalgia.
I find it funny the way you phrased that. You thought it was great they had the pull tab on the beer as if that was a choice.
Yes, it's and all the different beers that he actually drank. He didn't
Yeah,
stick
yeah,
with one. It was like Budweiser in one scene, Pabst in another scene,
Yeah.
and
Whatever
Well,
was
I'm
on
sure it
sale, he
was
didn't
whoever
care.
contributed beer to the movie that week. That's what they used.
Yeah.
yes, I just saw they had a lot of product placement for them.
And the
Um,
restaurants.
Yes, the Pizza Hut and everything.
That was great.
Then the other part that I like was that the whole team was in his car and they're driving down. Everybody was piled into the car. I thought
No
that,
seatbelts there.
yeah, and I remember those, like the family getting into a car and two families all piling together.
Oh my
inside.
God, when we were in college, Pam had a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, which had a moonroof. She would open the moonroof and some of us would just stand up and be out the moonroof. The whole back seat was filled with people. We had 9 people in her car, in her little Volkswagen Beetle to go home.
Yes, those were the days, right?
Those were the days.
Yeah. And my one question was, Joey, the kid that got hit and the pitcher, was he from the courtship of Eddie's father?
Yes.
Yes.
How funny that you remember that.
Yeah, I was like, that kid looks so familiar. And I thought that was great that he was just standing there holding
Well,
the ball.
Your family probably watched Courtship of Eddie's Father because there was an Asian on the show.
Yeah, because there was an Asian on the
Yeah.
show.
You're like, ooh, there's one of us.
Yeah, that same goes for Bonanza too, of course.
Hop Sing, sure, you watch that.
Yeah,
I always remember her. I don't remember her name now, but the actress Miyoshi Umeki, because she would always say, "I'm Mr. Eddie's father."
yeah.
She said the title every day.
Well, I thought it was great scene where he was just standing there holding the ball, not letting it go and stuff. And it's like, huh. Yeah.
And what's he doing now? I don't know. Nothing. All right.
So I enjoyed it. It was fun for me. I thought I mean, parts of it was just, like the 16-year-old smoking all the time, or, those are a little bit, or riding a bike. Like, should he still be playing Little League if he's that old?
Well,
But
they never said his age in the movie, did they?
no, but
I
he
don't
has to
think
be
so.
at least 16. No, if he's riding a Harley.
Oh,
The 70s.
Yeah.
You
The,
didn't-
the funny, the,
You
the
can do
funny
whatever
thing
you
is,
want.
she was 12 and he was 14 when they filmed that. And yeah, he's playing air hockey with a cigarette hanging out his mouth,
Yeah.
14-year-old kid, just a whole different world.
That's
And the
because he's from the
nostalgia-
trailer park.
Yeah, and the nostalgia piece about like smoking everywhere, like you could do whatever you want back then. It was
Amy-
cool. I like
Amy-
the nostalgia piece of it
Amy
too.
still does.
So does Annie.
You can't,
All right, Ann, what are you saying star-wise?
3.25 for me.
Oh, look at that. Um, wait, I actually watched this movie on the plane going to New York whenever we went a few weeks ago. And, watching it on this little screen, but it had my undivided attention because I couldn't do anything else but sit there and watch it. You know how you
And Frank
get distracted.
Frank texted me the very, very, very racist first time, Tanner, out of 3 times he said it, the first one. I was like, oh my God, I don't remember that. I don't probably didn't remember it because it meant nothing to me when I was 10. It was
Yeah, at the
normal
time,
language.
yeah, sure. At the time, it was like, yeah, of course, everybody says that.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, what did you think?
Anybody you want to text me, I'll let you know what he said.
I think they can figure it out.
Just it's a string of pejoratives that are
longer
inappropriate
in use.
today's day and age, and just pick 6 of them and you probably got them.
All right, so
So
Joel,
I
did you see this in 1976?
I couldn't tell you if I saw it in the theaters, but I do know I saw it.
Oh, you can tell us.
No, I couldn't. I don't remember. There's certain movies I do remember seeing in theaters, and certain movies I don't remember seeing in theaters. Specifically, this is kind of one of them, but I know I saw it.
At some
and-
point.
Yeah, at some point, if not 76 when it came out, then 77 on a re-release or something, or HBO at some point.
Right.
around
Well,
then.
and it certainly ran on regular network TV.
Yeah.
'Cause
a
Um,
lot
I
of
remember when he
bleeps.
said you could take your trophy and shove it up your
right.
totally.
I'm actually pretty
yeah.
sure I saw the second movie when it was on TV.
Mm.
So, but I love the movie. It's fun. It's nostalgic. I haven't seen it in a while, and it was nice to revisit it. I also did not remember Tanner's, tirades of language that just kind of like we're all. I mean, I was watching with my wife and another couple, and we were all like, "Holy crap! What the hell?" It's I can't really add anything at this point other than I have seen the sequels. I have not seen them in a while, but I do remember them getting progressively worse.
And the
there was-
remake.
There was a TV series with Jack Warden that ran for 2 seasons that was fun. I
And
don't
wait a
remember-
minute, what? So is Walter Matthau in the sequels?
Nope.
No.
The second movie, I don't remember the specifics. They mentioned both Buttermaker and Amanda, but they're not in the movie. The second movie basically deals with, like, Jackie Earle Haley becomes the main character, and his
Right.
estranged father becomes the coach for the team, played by William Devane.
Ah,
Yeah, and it's as I said, the sequels kind of get progressively worse. There's some fun stuff in the second one. The third one, like half the team is gone at that point, and
that's the Japan one.
that's the Japan one where
Third one.
Tony Curtis is the coach. because his career needed that boost. I don't know. Um, but the TV series, Jack Warden plays Buttermaker, and Amanda's back, and it's not, it's that TV series that's not actually a sequel. It's just kind of
Recreates the
remaking.
movie
Yeah,
in
the-
13 weeks.
the actual remake, I was curious because I didn't remember seeing it when it came
And who's
out.
in that?
It's
Billy
Billy
Bob
Bob
Thornton.
Thornton.
Oh, Billy Bob, yeah.
And it's him, and Greg Kinnear plays the
Vic Morrow part.
Vic Morrow part. And it's interesting because it's very much a remake in the sense that they didn't change a lot, but what they did change really affected the tone of it in some aspects. It's not the original has this charm to it. You kind of fall in love with the kids, you kind of fall in love with Buttermaker, you're rooting for them by the end. The remake, it's very by the book and cold. I didn't find the kids charming at all. They changed out some of the kids. There's a kid in a wheelchair now. The Ogilvy is now an Indian kid, and Rudy Stein.
I feel a lot more racial slurs coming on.
No,
Really, and
no, there's
Really?
nothing. If there were any disparaging remarks about I think there was one time they called the kid in a wheelchair a cripple, and that was probably the worst it got. But and they even changed out the whole bit with Ahmed, not wanting to play baseball, he's stuck up in the tree. It's still in there, but they changed it to this Armenian kid who didn't want to go home because of his parents. And Ahmed's still in the movie, but they've changed him into a kid that doesn't like sports. He's wearing the number that he's wearing is actually, I think it was a golfer or something, a tennis player. I mean, it was a weird change. But the interesting change is the councilman who hired Buttermaker in the original movie is now played by Marcia Gay Harden. And there's a scene in the movie where Buttermaker and her hook up, because it's like, all right, we're going to go in this direction.
Like,
with it.
Ray, really?
of
Yeah,
course.
and it was really kind of odd. And the next morning when he's leaving her house, the kid on the team, Toby, is like, Mr. Buttermaker, what are you doing sneaking out of my mom's bedroom early in the morning? And he's like, well, I'm actually checking on everybody on the team because you need to make sure you oil your glove. And
Oh my
I'm
God.
like,
So to speak.
yeah. I'm like, okay, that's just wrong.
Mark, did you oil your glove last night?
Nice.
Great.
And the worst part is this relationship with Amanda takes on a creepy vibe this time. It like really the Amanda in this movie seems a little bit more mature and older and not like the tomboyish kid. She's, I hate to say it, she's got boobs. And it really takes on this creepy tone of, why are you hanging around this shopping mall? Because she's working at a mall instead of selling maps to the stars' homes. It's a weird film, and it's not worth
All right,
watching.
well, Joel, can we get back to this one?
Yeah, it's 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
The other one's 2.
And that's what I love about Joel. I always say he's a completist.
Yeah.
And that's a nice word for what he is.
I got a few words for what he is.
Nobody in their right mind would watch the 2 sequels and the remake.
Well, I was planning on watching the 2 sequels and the remake, but I didn't get to the 2 sequels. So
Ah, you poor thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Aim, this was
Sorry,
your
I didn't-
choice.
I'm sorry I didn't watch the remake yesterday. I should have, but it just looks so bad.
it's not worth it. It's not.
Yeah, I
worth it.
didn't think so.
And that was what, 96?
2005.
2005?
2005, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, one interesting quick note. Natasha was when we were watching the original version, she was like, "Why are they not wearing helmets when they're on the bike?" I was like,
Ah.
"Nobody wore helmets." We're watching the remake. I was like, "See, they're wearing fucking helmets."
Of course they are.
That was the one improvement.
That was the only improvement.
No, I have to say that for me, it was very accurate because we didn't have helmets.
No,
We didn't care. We rode our bicycles everywhere. Nobody cared where we were. I didn't smoke, but certainly my friends were smoking and drinking. So it was for the time, obviously. It was
Well,
a very
Frank,
accurate portrayal.
yeah, Frank, it's funny you said that, just like you said before, it was accurate. They didn't have a choice. That was it. You
Yeah,
know,
this
it
was
wasn't
real
like they said,
life.
oh, don't put helmets on the kids.
Yeah, but I think that at the time to show it in a movie, that was not done before. And that's why, Aim, I'm surprised at you that you're always the one who's like seeing old ladies and kid curse is not funny to me. So how this was though.
Well, what Tanner said cracked me up.
Yeah,
Um,
but
but
you're
also,
always the proponent of it's not funny to have an old lady or a kid curse.
it's not funny to me when old people curse. To me, it's like I keep my new favorite phrase. It's low hanging fruit. There's nothing easier. It's just like what Bill Cosby and Jerry Seinfeld used to say. Don't curse just because you think saying fuck is going to be funny. It's not funny unless what's around it is funny. So, having an old lady in that that wedding movie, she became so famous for cursing, the one with Adam Sandler. And I thought it was so stupid. The wedding thing, so stupid.
No, I'm with you, Amy, and especially for like 70s and 80s PG movies, I prefer mine to have a little bit of nudity rather than racist tirades.
The racial humor is actually my favorite kind of humor.
Okay.
But Tanner saying crud, I hated him then and I hated him now. I'm like, oh, stop with the stupid crud already. It's so annoying.
It's funny that's the word he went to instead of like shit. With
Yeah.
everything else that came out of his mouth, you're like, really? Crud.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we would say crud. We did.
Yeah, but did you follow it up with,
A tirade? No.
Yeah.
But it was PG, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Aim?
Just a few notes I wrote. If you told 10 or even if you told 10 people to write this movie, 8 out of 10 of them would have made Buttermaker crabby and not want to be there and only want to be there for the money. But he really wanted to coach these kids, especially as he saw, like you all said before, which was a huge thing for me, the sadness. There was so much sadness in the movie until it was turned around when the person realized, especially the scene with Lupus and Tanner was just beautiful. When he screamed at the kids and then started crying. I just loved that aspect. All said. There were minor little things, because I haven't seen the movie in like 40 years. There were minor little things that I completely remembered happening, like you all mentioned. I totally remember Joey just throwing the ball in his mitt and letting the kid take the home run and then dropping it at his father's feet. It was like, that is just as beautiful. I love that. And the only other thing I wrote was I love the non-cliched ending where they actually lost the game. And in the trivia, it said they lost 7-6 because it came out in 1976, which I thought was cute.
But again, like I said, even though they lost, it was a victory for them. So that's what made it really beautiful.
And the beauty of the Yankees, noted again in the trivia, if you read the trivia, Mark, I'm sure you saw, all of the teams had professional names and professional colors, except the Bears, fake name, fake colors to make them really the underdogs. So, but when the team was like 2, 4, 6, 8, who do you appreciate? And then Tanner was like, take your fucking trophy and your apology and shove them up your ass. Just a great ending. Loved it. In terms of stars, I think I'm going to go with 3.25 like Annie did. I would have gone with 4 40 years ago.
Sure.
So when I watched it and I just rented it on Amazon, I was waiting for like all the credits so I could see who played Joey, but they didn't play the credits. It was like,
No, there's no, yeah.
did they not do that? I don't remember. They don't do the
Yeah.
whole scrolling credits thing.
Yeah.
It
No.
depended on the movie.
It was
and
at the beginning, yeah.
Where
At
was
the
the
beginning
end
was
credit
the-
scene too?
Right?
Yes.
Oh, the end credit sequence?
Yeah.
Sequence, yeah.
Yes. All right, is that it? We're done?
I
Everybody's
think
good?
so.
Okay, so it was a fun one. Amy, thank you. I enjoyed watching it.
Well, thank
It
you.
is available on Skinamax if you have that. And as Annie rented it, although I put it in the Dropbox. I don't know what's
Thank
wrong
you.
with you.
I use that.
And of course, you can borrow
Talk
it
about
from,
illegally pirating movies in a public forum.
is that pirating? Just, you're
Yes.
just watching it.
Ah,
What if I had you over and you watched it? We'd be watching it together.
You illegally made a
Um,
movie of it. That's all that matters.
And of course, you
Good
can
point.
borrow it from your local library and copy it, which is what I did. Come arrest me, FBI. Next
If
Monday,
they're watching this, there's a problem.
and you know you have to go to the movie this week.
oh, it's Thor week, right?
I already saw it. I already saw it. Don't piss me off or I will spoil it.
Thor: Love and Thunder opened on Thursday. It opened
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Uh,
And so now we all have to see. Joel already saw it. And we'll discuss next week Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm Frat Gaffney. What? Frat Gaffney. I lost my end somewhere. Go watch a movie. Jesus.
I'm also with
sake.
you.
You want to give